Aloha guys, I hope everybody's doing well. My usual upload dates are typically revolving around Thursday and Sunday, more so Sunday, but today is Wednesday, the 8th of July. Why am I uploading on a Wednesday? It's not a typical day for me to upload. It's kind of hard for me to think about, and even more so hard for me to make a video about. July the 8th, today, would have been the day that I would have set off on my next extended voyage. And to think that that's not happening, and to think for all this time, to kind of and holding my breath and having high hopes and wishes, and to see that the chances are less and less to the point of it's not happening, which is now. It's been really hard. And I know that's the same for most people who have had trips planned or they had intentions to travel and it just couldn't happen or didn't happen. I would have set off for the Pacific Islands once again. It would have been the second segment of my Pacific Island journey. I had plans to visit American Samoa, the Central Pacific, maybe Tuvalu, Tokelau, a bit of Fiji, and had my budget allowed, I would have visited Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, before making it for my working holiday visa in Australia. Now this plan, this idea of this trip altogether has been something I've been wanting to do for years, and it just made sense to create a voyage like this had I lived in Hawaii or been in Hawaii. And it just would have made for a very smooth journey to Australia to make it for my visa, so where I can work and I can explore Australia. The last places I would probably want to be is somewhere isolated in the Pacific Islands where, God forbid, there was a COVID breakout. The infrastructure of hospitals and the medical infrastructure probably wouldn't be the best. I cut off my Pacific Island voyage for maybe a later date and only just specifically focused on Australia. Now, my working holiday visa for Australia is good until October, and is a year from the date that was granted last October 2019. With the second outbreak in America, because we have a lot of stubborn Americans who, to no surprise, believe in just individualism, douchebagism. And I'm not going to get into politics, but there are a lot of people in a lot of states who felt like they want to get out to their normal lives and go to bars and all this stuff, did not heed safety, and just allowed for this thing to happen again. And because of that, we are back to going several steps back. And most places are moving forward and America's still behind. There are a number of countries who are able to start traveling with precautions, and we are unable to as Americans right now. I don't know what's going to look like for the next several months, but it's seeming more bleak than optimistic. I still have 3 months before I can make it to Australia for my working holiday. If things look good, there's a vaccine, God forbid, and Australia decides to open up their borders like most of the world, I will be the first to buy a plane ticket to Australia to make my working holiday visa and have that last opportunity. If I don't make it to Australia, that doesn't mean I can't go to Australia. The only thing I won't be able to do in Australia is I can't work. I can't legally work. There are several different paths that I've brainstormed, that I've taken the time to figure out what would be if this worked or didn't work. So that's why I've focused a lot of time in the past several weeks and months, for that matter, focusing on myself and finding a bit of financial sustainability within my platforms, my YouTube, my blog, and all my social media platforms, so I can earn some revenue and have a bit more independence with my things. So I'm not so heavily reliant on a working holiday visa or a odd job here just so I can keep traveling. And that's something that's really fundamentally important for me at this time, as I'm getting to the point where there are no visas out there unless I get a sponsorship somewhere that will allow me to just apply for a visa and I can work and keep going. So the first plan for me, I live in Hawaii. Hawaii is one of the most beautiful places in the world. So it's not zealous to say that I live in a place where I can continue YouTubing, I can continue exploring different aspects of travel on these islands that I live in. But for me, it's kind of like finding my place. A lot of people come here, they show these beautiful hikes, which I'm not against, but I want to figure out how I can be different. I want to offer something different, show something different show a bit of the culture of Hawaii, the people who live here, the Kanaka, the native Hawaiians, show their angle, show their lives, show archaeological sites, show a bit of the history of the overthrow of Hawaii, the illegal annexation of these islands. Just show different things of Hawaii that most people don't when they come here. And that's something I'm kind of brainstorming. It's taken me a while to figure out, but that's something I want to do. And I feel like it'd be a very, very added boost to my channel to show an aspect of who I am and what I offer, other than just I go to travel and see nice things. As far as onward travel outside of Hawaii, I would like to channel a trip around the Pacific Islands and possibly include Australia. The things I'm looking to do would most likely be the same. Travel Australia, reconnect with friends I have, and if I can find the sponsorship, I would, try to do that, but just keep going. Depending where I'm at with my finances, I would try to keep going. I'd return back to the Pacific Islands, maybe visit Micronesia, where I had intended to go years ago but couldn't because I ran out of funds. Palau, Guam, Marianas, Philippines, and ultimately try to return back to Hawaii because I know there's so much that I want to explore in these islands that I won't be able to do in just a matter of months. And which is why I'm very proud to call these islands home. Living here isn't just, okay, it's beautiful. There's so much more. There's like a deep-rooted thing that I am seeking out, looking forward to achieving that. As far as onward travels go, like Southeast Asia, South Asia, Europe, South America, I'm not sure. There's so much I have to do in my travels. It's kind of beyond my reach. But for now, with COVID and how things look, those are kind of like my plans. Those are kind of things that I want to do if things look up in the next few months or not. That's basically what I'm looking at right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty upset. I'm pretty down. You have to be optimistic. That's the only way you can get through some of these dark times, dark moments. Whether it's going on in the world or it's going on in here. Smile. Just think of the next step. That is the thing about us travelers, is that no matter what you go through, even if it's in your travels, if you go through some issues medically, or you have problems with other people, or you get stranded or whatever, it's all part of the adventure. And it's all how you respond to it and how you move forward from it. This is no different. I plan to have some polls on my YouTube of things that I'm looking to invest in, some equipment, some cameras. I really look forward to posting this and getting your guys' feedback. I do plan to share maybe like a few hikes I've done. I have some plans and ideas of things I like to touch, explore here in Hawaii. Whether it's mukbang, I'm not sure what that. I just recently discovered that. Maybe doing some food vlogs, discovering some of my favorite places to eat here. So if you can give me some feedback on what would you like to see in Hawaii, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to going forward and exploring bit by bit. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time. I hope you're doing well, staying positive. And once again, once the travels begin, the voyage never ends. Aloha.